The 2025 MotoGP season is almost here, and during it, one MotoGP rider has an opportunity to make history, accomplishing something never before done in Grand Prix motorcycle racing history. Since 1949, 5 riders have won Premier Class races with 3 different manufacturers, and one of those riders is on the grid today. Many of you already know who this is, but before we talk about him, let's take a brief look back at the other riders who've achieved this feat. The first to ever do it was Mike Hailwood, Giacomo Agostini's greatest rival and one of the original GOATs of Grand Prix motorcycle racing. Hailwood won his first Premier Class Grand Prix at the Isle of Man in 1961 on a Norton. In the middle of the season, he would switch to MV Agusta, and would go on to win again during that same year. He would find incredible success with the Italian manufacturer, winning the next 4 Premier Class World Championships in a row. In 1965, he would make the switch to Honda, and after some struggles, would win his first Grand Prix on a Japanese bike on July 24, 1966, becoming the very first rider in Grand Prix motorcycle racing history to win for 3 different manufacturers in the Premier Class. This feat is incredibly difficult to accomplish. It requires being the best rider on the grid on 3 different machines. Because of the extreme difficulty of this, it would take nearly 20 years for someone to recreate this achievement. Who would it be? Well, it was the American dirt tracker. What do you mean that doesn't narrow it down? It was the American dirt tracker, Randy Mamola. Mamola is one of the best riders to never get a Premier Class championship, competing fiercely with the other legends of the 80s and early 90s. Mamola secured 13 Premier Class wins and 52 podiums. The first of these was at the 1980 Belgian Grand Prix for Heron Suzuki. He would stay with this team for a while, netting a few more wins before he was picked up by factory Honda in 1984. He was electric in his first season on the Honda. With the exception of a single retirement in Sweden, Mamola finished on the podium in every single race he contested. His first win came at the Dutch TT. He would stay with Honda for one more year before moving to Yamaha for 1986. And in his first season on the Yamaha, he would secure a win in Belgium, the site of his very first victory, to become the second rider to win with 3 manufacturers in the Premier Class. Mamola was the rider to achieve this feat in the shortest amount of time, winning with 3 manufacturers in just his 8th season in the Premier Class. Although, there is sort of a debate here. We'll talk about why in a bit. Regardless, Mamola would go on to race for Cagiva, but was never able to win with them. It had taken 20 years to repeat this achievement the first time. But while Mamola was racing, another rider was already busy getting to work on the achievement. The next rider to get the Triple Crown was Steady Eddie Lawson. Lawson had won his first Grand Prix in his 2nd season in 1984 for Marlboro Agostini Yamaha, and would go on to win his first championship that very same year. He would stay with this team for another 4 years, winning 3 more world championships, before switching to Rothman's Kanemoto Honda to become teammates with his rival Wayne Gardner, and would beat him out for the World Championship that very same year. He won 4 races that year, but would move back to Yamaha for 1990. After a single season ruined by injury, he pivoted to Cagiva, and he did what Mamola couldn't, giving the Italian manufacturer their very first Grand Prix win in the now legendary 1992 Hungarian Grand Prix during the final season of his career. We get another break before our next rider wins with 3 brands, and that rider was Loris Capirossi. Capirossi made his 500cc debut in 1994 with Honda, but he would never win with them, scoring his first win at the final round of the following year with Yamaha instead. After this, Capirossi would return to the 250cc class for 3 seasons, securing a world championship along the way. He would move back to the Premier Class for the new millennium, again riding for Honda. This time, he would find success, winning in the Italian Grand Prix that year. In 2003, 1 year into the MotoGP era, Capirossi was picked up by Ducati, who were making their grand return to Grand Prix racing. He would find his greatest successes with the Italian manufacturer, and today, when you think of Loris Capirossi, you think of him atop a Ducati. In his 6th race on the bike at the 2003 Catalan Grand Prix, he would become the first rider to achieve the triple in the modern era, although he didn't win all of his races in the modern era, securing a win on the Desmosedici GP3. Now here's where the debate comes in for who secured the achievement in the shortest amount of time. Mamola did it in 8 seasons after he made his Premier Class debut, whereas it took Capirossi 9 seasons. But the difference here is Capirossi left to go race 250s for some years. If we remove these from the equation, it only took Capirossi 6 seasons of Premier Class racing to secure the Triple Crown. Which one is more impressive? I honestly don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you have an opinion. Finally, onto the title of the video. There is a rider on the grid today who has already secured a win with 3 different manufacturers, and this year, he has the opportunity to do something unprecedented and win with a fourth. Many of you already know who this rider is, but for those who don't, it's Maverick Top Gun Vinales. Maverick Vinales is a Moto3 world champion who had tons of hype surrounding him during his rise to MotoGP. While it is debatable whether he lived up to these expectations or if they were even fair in the first place, he's still a 10-time MotoGP winner with 2 top 3 finishes in the World Championship. He would come into MotoGP in 2015, riding for Suzuki, but it would take until his second season to win his first Grand Prix at the British Grand Prix. In 2017, he would move to the factory Yamaha team after the departure of Jorge Lorenzo, and he would immediately get to work, winning his very first Grand Prix during his Yamaha debut in Qatar. He would remain on the blue bikes until 2021, where he would be fired from the team mid-season for attempting to blow up his engine, and he would be picked up by Aprilia. Conversations about whether he would be the first rider to accomplish the triple win feat entirely in the MotoGP era began immediately. He would secure 6 podiums by the end of 2023, and with Ducati looking better and better, his odds of winning seemed lower and lower. In 2024, he would win the Portuguese sprint, and followed it up the next round with a sprint win in Austin as well. The very next day, after being pushed to 11th in the first corner, he would fight through the pack in a crazy race, and would secure a monumental victory for Aprilia, the only non-Ducati Sunday win of the season, and the first rider to win for 3 manufacturers, all in the MotoGP era. But then, a twist in the story. On June 13th, 2024, it was announced that Vinales had signed with Tech3 KTM for 2025. He's clearly still in winning form, and with a factory spec bike underneath him, he now has the opportunity to become the first rider in Grand Prix racing history to win with 4 different manufacturers in the Premier class. Will he be able to capitalize on this opportunity? Only time will tell. For now, all we can do is watch and see if Vinales will be able to make history in 2025. It's a bit of a shorter video this week from me, but it's midterm season, so I wanted to make something short and quick, but still get out something that I want to talk about, because I feel like last year when Vinales won with Aprilia, I feel like MotoGP really ignored all the riders who did it during the 500s era, and I wanted to talk about them because they absolutely deserve their flowers as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, help boost this video out into the YouTube algorithm, subscribe if you want more MotoGP content delivered directly to your subscription feed, and if you want to support the channel even further, then join the channel and join my wonderful channel members MVP2112 and Michael Wallach. With all that being said, check in on your favorite Mavericks fan, and have a fantastic day.